I want to introduce someone special to you this morning. This right here is Pastor Adolfo Alfaro from Tela, Honduras. Pastor Adolfo grew up in Honduras, and several years ago, he attended the Lifeline Christian Bible Institute in Ocotillo, which we support as a church, by the way, where he trained for ministry. And in 2021, Pastor Adolfo and his wife felt the call from God and answered the call to pastor a church in Tela, Honduras. You can actually see he sent me a little video clip right here of his church and worship last week. And so we are so excited to announce that starting this November, our church, along with Mission Valley Church in Iowa and Oasis Christian Church in Colorado, we have come together and said we are going to come alongside and partner with Pastor Adolfo and the Lifeline Christian Church in Tela, Honduras for the next 3 years. We are going to support them and do ministry with them as they minister in Tela, Honduras. We actually had the chance to get on a Zoom call this past week with Pastor Adolfo and his family, and I've got a picture of his family right here. He is joined by his wife, Lesby, and his 2 children, Eliza, who is now 7 years old, and Matex, who is now 2 years old. That picture is about a year old right there. And we are so excited to get to know this family. I cannot wait to meet them in person when we take a team down there this coming March. And so we are excited to do ministry. As we get to connect, that's one of my favorite parts about working in missions is that we get to connect with pastors across the street and around the world to see their ministry, to hear about their vision. And I'm so excited because Pastor Adolfo, along with this entire church, they share the exact same mission we hold here at the Wilmington Church of Christ, to have a disciple in every home in their community. And we do this by making disciples that make disciples. And I am so excited to hear about his passion for this. But we not only hear about the vision of the church, we get to hear and pray with them in their struggles. Right now, their church, the biggest struggle they're facing in their community is that unfortunately in this community, there have been several churches who have been led by pastors who are very immoral and corrupt and have taken advantage of people in the community. And as a result, because of this, they have damaged the reputation of Christianity. They have damaged the reputation of Jesus. As a result of this, the people in Tela, Honduras are very hard-hearted. They are very cold towards Christianity. And Pastor Adolfo is very passionate about changing this. And I love this. On our Zoom call, we asked Pastor Adolfo, what is being done? What are some of the ways you are striving to change this, to have people come to Christianity and to not have such hard hearts? He said this: our church wants to take Jesus, the love of Jesus, directly to the people. Directly, they want to serve them directly in the community instead of waiting for them to walk through the front doors of the church. He said their church members are passionate about being in the community, sharing their testimony, loving on people, and serving them directly where they are. One of the ways Adolfo is connecting with the community, and this is huge, is Pastor Adolfo has connected with the local public schools. He is actually teaching Bible education directly to the kids of the public school and the teachers as well. I love that. That is a huge step towards having a disciple in every home in Tela, Honduras. And we get to share in that. We get to celebrate with that. We are a part of what is going on there. The reason we have been highlighting some of the missions we support is because we recognize that we are able to do this because of your generosity, because of the generosity of this church. And that's why we're so excited. And Dale mentioned this last week. We are launching in December our 60-40 sacrificial giving drive campaign. Over the years, we have been able to bless so many people in this community, so many ministries outside the walls of this church through our sacrificial giving. Now, someone once asked the question, they said, what is sacrificial giving? Well, sacrificial giving means to give above and beyond what you have already committed between you and God to give to the local church. It is sacrificially giving above and beyond that. And I'm so excited because we do so many ministries. There are so many ministries we support outside the walls of this church. So much so that 11% of our entire ministry budget is dedicated and committed to missions. That is huge. 11% of our entire budget goes to missions because we believe in sharing the love of Jesus across the street and around the world. And we recognize that there is about 6 or 7 weeks left in 2024. But with this drive, we recognize also that our church's fiscal year begins in November. Our budgeted year begins in November. And so the staff and the elders have come together and said, we want to challenge our church to kick off our budget year in a healthy way. You know, a lot of churches, one way they do this is they wait to the end of their fiscal year to try to do some giving and make up areas that they have missed or fall short in. We said we want to step out on faith at the beginning of our fiscal year and set up our church financially in a healthy way. So here's how this 60-40 drive will work. It will run for the entire month of December. So it will begin on Sunday, December 1st, and you will have the opportunity to give until December 31st. The entire month will be dedicated to this 60-40 drive, and we will give more information on how you can give as December approaches. But now here comes the 60-40 part. 60% of what is raised, whatever is raised, will go directly to the ministry needs and budgetary needs within WCC. 40% of whatever is given will go towards furthering missions that we support here locally and around the world. So 60% of whatever is given is going to the ministry needs of WCC. 40% we are going to give towards missions. But now here comes the goal. The staff and the elders said, we want to step out in faith and challenge our church with the goal of $25,000 in the month of December. We have done this before to where we've had a need arise within one of our missions. We did this two summers ago. Lifeline Christian Mission, they reached out and said, hey, because of COVID, we have had several children that are unable to afford schooling. Can you help with that? We said, yes. We challenged our church and we raised over $20,000 in 1 month. God is working through this church, and we want to challenge our church with $25,000 in the month of December to go towards ministry needs here in WCC, as well as ministry needs beyond the walls of this church as well. We are so excited. We want to encourage you to take the rest of this month to pray and carefully consider what God might be leading you to give towards this drive. And now, Dale mentioned this last week. For those of you who care about this kind of thing, right, this is happening in December, which means anything you give can count as a tax write-off for this year. Now, I'm going to reemphasize what Dale said last week. If that is the only reason you give, you might need to check your heart on why you give, but that will be possible for you as well. We just want to pray for what God is going to do, and we are excited on stepping out in faith and setting up our church and our missions in a very healthy way